Good evening and welcome back to the Degen crew. I want to film a video for you every day, but I also don't want to be one of those people that forces out content. I don't want to force out content specifically where I'm pushing predictions that I haven't done any research on. So I don't want to force out a prediction daily just for the sake of putting out content. But here's one that I want to talk about right now. Michael Saylor. Will they sell any Bitcoin? I've been buying this one. I've been buying no that they won't sell any Bitcoin by May 31st, June 30th, and December 31st. And I'll just go into the May 31st one for a second. If I go into the graph here, actually, this one's probably not the best one. So this had a huge jump on May 4th. It went from almost 11% to 85% that MicroStrategy would sell Bitcoin by the end of the year. And the internet had this huge uproar about whether or not they would be selling Bitcoin. So I started buying no on this at the top, that they wouldn't sell Bitcoin by the end of December. I also started buying the rest of the months because they all kind of jumped up at this time. But if you want to know why, here's why the internet had an uproar is because during MicroStrategy's earnings call, Michael Saylor said they might sell Bitcoin. And this isn't from the call, this is just an interview that he did.
Even if we were to sell one Bitcoin, we'd be buying 10 to 20 more Bitcoin. I'm very famous for saying never sell your Bitcoin. And that's why the internet went crazy when we said we might sell it. Peter thinks Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme.
So yeah, the internet did go crazy when he said they might sell some Bitcoin. But I've watched I've watched and read every interview since then, every interview before then. I've read the earnings call. And the conclusion is a lot of it is I'm not sure when they will sell Bitcoin, but they might sell some Bitcoin. Most of it is that they probably won't sell right away, and even then, I don't even think it will happen in 2026. My reason for not thinking it'll happen in 2026 is because I think they would. I think first of all, my reason for them not selling by May would be because for them to sell a lot, it would have to be they would want to sell when Bitcoin is in a profit, I think. So like a much larger profit than where they've been buying at, because they'd want to use it as a tax deferral. And Michael Saylor definitely does a better job at explaining this. But if they sell then just to buy it back, they sell to pay off their investors and then or their bondholders, and then they buy back the Bitcoin, but they can use that as a tax deferred on the capital gains. So right now, Bitcoin sits about where they were purchasing at. It's a little bit higher, but not necessarily enough to make it worthwhile to sell a bunch just to have a capital gains write-off. But there's also a lot of talk about them eventually having to sell some Bitcoin because he would want to buy back. When they first started purchasing Bitcoin for MSTR, they were doing it through convertible notes, and there's one of the biggest convertible note is due in 2029 for about $3 billion. So if anything, he'll probably want to buy back some Bitcoin or sell some Bitcoin to buy back the convertible note before 2029. That doesn't also mean that they won't sell more stock, like an at-the-money ATM equity offering, so diluting the shareholder to buy back the convertible notes. That's also possible. But really, they would be selling a Bitcoin just to get the market ready, because if they didn't tell anyone they were going to sell Bitcoin and they just randomly started to sell, the market might panic. So just by telling the market they might sell some Bitcoin, it's kind of a smart move in terms of it's prepping the market that they're going to sell Bitcoin. They might not even have to now that they've prepped the market, saying that they might do it eventually. Again, the only reason that they might do it would be to buy back their convertible notes before 2029. And that's just to make their balance sheet look stronger or be stronger. But all that to be said, one of the things I'm doing now is I'm buying the no on selling for where is it here? I'm buying the no for them to sell Bitcoin pretty much every single month, May, June, and December. When I started buying the December, it was at 10 cents. When I was buying the June, it was at 26. And when I was buying the May, it was at 64. They're all up about almost 100%. So what I would like to do is, because the other sort of game in my head that I see them doing is selling like one Bitcoin just to show the market that they can sell Bitcoin without the market collapsing. So for my, and because he announced that just on their earnings call recently, there's a potential for them to do that in May. So the December being up almost 100% already, my plan is to sell, and I have an order in right now. My plan is to sell the December position in full and then rebuy it back June 1st or June 2nd. So as soon as May 31st, because there's a stretch dividend payment that's due May 31st. So the first of the month, pretty much the 1st of June. So there's also speculation that they'll sell to pay their dividend. But I don't think they need to right the second. I think they have enough cash to do this. But to not risk the December one, which is up the most and which is my largest position, I'm going to sell this all now, and then I'm going to buy it back on June 1st or June 2nd. I might give up 1 or 2% by doing that, but I'm saving myself the 100% that I'm up and the money that I've currently already put in. The other two I'll probably just let sit there and let ride. If anything, I might add to the May 31st position a tiny bit if it's still at 90 cents. But mainly I want to take the profit on the December 31st and then buy back in afterwards, let it ride for a month, and then again do the same thing every single month. Again, I might be giving up 1%, but that's not bad for taking the risk off the table. My other reason for doing this is specifically MicroStrategy announces their buy every single Monday. So you can see this is on Sunday, Michael Saylor posts that they are about to buy. On Monday, they post that they did buy. And this is the last Monday going into the end of the month. So my concern would be that he posts something on Sunday saying that they've sold, and then they announce a sell on the Monday. So I want to get this done before Sunday evening when he normally posts his first post. So that's why I have a market order in. I'm trying to get filled at the 21 cent mark right now. If I don't get filled in the next day, so Friday, Saturday, if I don't get filled by Saturday at the 21 cents, I'm just going to put a market sell in for my price. I might get filled if I go into the order book. So I'm trying to sell at 79 cents. I'll just take the 80. I'll take, no, sorry, that should be on the no. I'll just take the 20 cent versus, so right now I have the sell order at 21 and I would be able to get filled at 20 cents. So if my limit order doesn't get filled, I'll just put in a market sell at 20 cents and then rebuy on June 2nd. So all that to say, will MicroStrategy sell any Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't think they'll do it by May 31st. I don't think they'll have to do it by June 30th. I don't even think they'll have to do it by December 31st. But my position is already up 100%. I don't need to take on that risk to wait and find out to see if they will sell. I especially don't need to wait until December when, if they're going to do it, they might do it right now just to rip the Band-Aid. So that's why I'm going to lock in my profit and rebuy it back in later. Anyway, that's a fun one. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll show you when when the sell order goes through. This is actually right now sitting in a market rebate, so I'm getting rewards. Anything plus or minus there's a 4%. There's a 4 cent spread. So anything in the blue is actually generating rewards right now. So that's another reason to let it sit there and let it ride until Saturday, is because I'll generate as many rewards as possible, take the market order on Saturday. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good evening. That's MicroStrategy. Will they sell their Bitcoin?